Welcome back. All right, so I love the movie Inception. Why do I love the movie Inception? It gets into something that I have always been fascinated by, which is lucid dreaming. So I'm going to do a video on this because why not? I'm going to talk about a dream I had last night, and honestly, there have been times that I've been capable of lucid dreaming. What threw me off was it takes a lot. So it's basically the idea that you can control your dreams. Now, there's research being done into this right now. I read this really massive article last night on it, and it's fascinating to me. It's fascinating because the idea that we still don't really understand dreams as much as we probably should with all the other things we now understand in this universe. Dreaming is still a little bit of an elusive thing. So what they're trying to do at these with these experiments they're running is they get people who are capable of lucid dreaming. In some cases, they're using a drug to elicit some lucid dreaming, and I wouldn't recommend that. When I was reading up on that part, I was like, no, 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 no. The trick, of course, is keeping it stable. So having people so that they lucid dream enough that it's stable. And that's the tricky part. And then I was reading that basically a lot of people have that experience. Roughly half of people have had that experience of I'm dreaming. I've also had the experience of dreaming of something and then the next day it happens, and it's usually something dumb. So it's not like, oh, I dreamt of all the cup winners. It's I dreamt that I banged my head against something. The next day I'm like, that's stupid dream. That's never happened. The next thing I bang my head on that exact thing. So and so that's the kind of thing. And it's like, why did I have to have a premonition of that? That's useless information to me. So the universe just keeps messing with me. So lucid dreaming is the idea of being awake while you're asleep. Essentially, like you're aware that you're asleep. You're aware that you're dreaming. You can also hear things during a dream. And I've had that. There was one dream I had. I don't know, I think 13, 14, and there was this girl I had a crush on in school, and we were gonna make out. It was gonna be great, right? She's like, yeah, I'd love to go out with you, kind of thing. And so I'm standing in the middle of the road, and I hear an alarm, and the entire sky over my head starts flashing with the alarm. And I said in the dream, I said, no, not now, no. And then I wake up, I look over, I turn off my alarm clock and said, damn it, really loud. Because I knew I'm in this situation where I hadn't manipulated the dream there, but I was kind of half aware I was asleep. And so when I heard the alarm, I knew that was my alarm trying to wake me up. And I really wanted to stay asleep, but I didn't. And no, I never got back to that dream again. But I've had dreams where I'm aware that I'm awake. People talk about flying in their dreams. I've never done that. I've never been able to figure that out. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy makes it simple. If you want to fly, all you have to do is fall down and miss the ground. It's simple. It's really easy. Fall down, miss the ground, you're flying. But yeah, that's something that lucid dreamers can do. So the idea is that they're doing this research to try to figure out what dreams are. I don't think I don't think there's a way to use lucid dreamers to figure that out. And I don't. Because the idea would be that, like, I guess it'd be like me being able to tear apart my home and see how it was built. And maybe they're trying to do that with dreams, like try to, okay, now find out how this is put together. It's your subconscious. So it's your brain creating this. You can't just tear down the walls of a house and find which part of your brain you're in. You can't, like, I don't, but at any rate, at least they're looking at dreams. So this brings me to the one I had last night, and I find it weird because I haven't had dreams that have had a lot of detail to them for a while. But I'm reading about lucid dreaming, and all of a sudden I have a really detailed dream. I don't think this is a coincidence. So I'm going to talk about this one because I thought it was funny. First off, I was working for AEW. Damn straight I was working for AEW. So back in the 80s when I got into wrestling, of course I created my own wrestling company where I created my own wrestlers, and I would create who were the winners and who were the champs and all that. And of course I was in it because why not? So it felt like in this dream that I was my wrestling character from the 80s, but well aware that it's no longer the 80s. And for some reason I was hired by AEW to manage Sting. Now, part of my gimmick was that I was really, really full of myself and envisioned myself as champ. So I had a replica title from AEW. So I have this title over my shoulder in the dream. And so I've got the title. I was gonna draw it up. It's kind of weird. So we're out in the wilderness. Let's just say this is a mountain here, and we're kind of stationed in, like, I don't know, it's some kind of a cave bunker kind of thing around here, and then the actual wrestling event is over that mountain, and they've got like a plateau here where they've got a bunch of fans set up, and they've got a ring set up, and I'm thinking about this. I'm thinking, okay, I'm Sting's manager. Don't ask. I don't know either. And so I've got to go from this bunker here where I'm with all the AEW guys, which is attached to a mall. I thought it was nice too that downstairs from this there was this nice shopping center. So you've got a mall down here which had a lot of people in it. Don't ask me how they got there. I have no idea. But I have no idea how the fans got to this either, or how any of this works, right? Because it's a dream. So you don't ask the questions because it's a dream. That's how I know this wasn't lucid, because I wasn't going, this is weird. So I've got this belt over my shoulder. Now it's got a dent in it. Now I'm concerned because I paid $300 for the title. I'm concerned that my wife is going to see that dent in the belt. She's not going to be happy. We had a discussion, my wife and I did years ago. So this dream is an echo of that comment, where they had photos of this guy out around, I think it was around Los Angeles, and he had a WWE title over his shoulder. And so the speculation my wife and I had was that he had probably bought it online, and his wife had seen the cost of that and said, "You're taking that everywhere. You paid how much for that? Yeah, you're taking that everywhere." Or, hey, maybe the guy's just really proud to have himself a belt. So anyways, we've got this title, and it's got a dent in it. Now, Kenny Omega's the champ. Kenny Omega comes over, he's like, "Hey, how's it going?" I said, "It's going fine." And he looks at his belt, and he looks at mine, and he goes, "Well, that's not right." And I said, "Well, don't worry, Kenny, it's a replica. I paid $300." And Kenny goes, "You paid $300 and your belt doesn't look the same as what I have over my shoulder? Give me that." He takes the title from me and he says, "I'm going to go talk to Tony." So now I'm concerned I'm going to get fired by Tony Khan, because it feels like maybe he's going to go complain to Tony that my belt doesn't look legit, and that I deserve to have a legitimate looking title. Nice of Kenny to offer that for me, but I'm concerned. And then I'm thinking to myself, okay, so now I've got to do a promo with Sting, and then I've got to climb up over top of the mountain. And I was very concerned because it was kind of steep going up and coming back down. And that may be an echo of a video that I watched last night, which was about perilous bridges around the world. And some of them were perilous for their climb and their drop, and just, being out in the middle of nowhere. So it's a combination of things that leads to this. And no, I didn't actually get to the ring to see how things went with Sting. I still don't know why I was his manager. It was odd. The Young Bucks were around, FTRs were around. I really wasn't really concerned with talking to them. I was trying to go over stuff with Sting for how the match was going to work. And in the back of my mind thinking, how am I going to climb up over? Because I was worried about getting blown up climbing over top of this mountain to get down to the ring. I thought, if I get down there and I'm all sweaty and I look gross and I'm already like out of breath, if I have Shane McMahon with this, and Shane McMahon's around my age, so I didn't want to get blown up and then blow a quad trying to get into the ring after that. But I thought it was bizarre, and I thought it was worth mentioning in a video and saying, hey, if I can get to a point where I can do lucid dreaming, this might be the kind where it's awesome. And I've done that. The most recent lucid dream I can remember was one with wrestling in it. And I decided in the dream, I thought, okay, this is a dream. Who would I like to see in the ring? And so in the ring, there were two wrestlers that I had created back in the 80s. And I was sitting front row and watching them actually fight, which was great. And I think one thing that it's a shame we can't actually do, and of course we've seen this in movies and TV, the idea that you can attach all these sensors to a person's brain and then project the dream they're having onto a wall. And I'm sure there's somebody somewhere thinking, we'll be able to do that, we'll have the technology. I don't know that we ever will, because I don't know if there's a way to actually draw that out. It's in my subconscious. I can see it when I'm asleep. I don't know that there's an actual movie playing anywhere inside the brain that can be extracted and put up onto a wall. But hey, I admire science for making the effort. So there you go. I just wanted to share the most bonkers, weird, backcrap, crazy stuff. And again, Kenny never did come back with my belt. And so the last thing I remember in the dream was being concerned that Kenny might not be coming back with my title. So maybe he's just messing with me. Maybe he took the belt to Tony and said, I don't know why he has this belt. I'm going to just throw this down here. He's not taking that to the ring. Maybe that's what it was. I'll never know. And part of the reason I'd be dreaming about this is because a friend of mine that's in Las Vegas, he's part of a wrestling company that's looking for sponsors. And I told him I'd be willing to help with some sponsorship and help them out. So that may very well be part of the reason why I'm dreaming about having a belt over my shoulder and having to walk to a ring. But over a mountain? Really? So anyways, we'll see where this goes. Sometimes I have those dreams that seem like a continuation from one night to the next. And I'm aware of it, but I'm only aware of it just as I wake up. One thing that I saw in the article that's true, you'll remember very scant details usually from a dream, and then it fades very quickly. I never had a dream journal, but I did for a while have it where I would wake up and I would recite to myself what had happened in the dream. And I go over it, over it, over it. And when I did that, I found I was able to dream about those same things again, and then B, I was more likely to be able to have a lucid dream. So I didn't see the ways that I've used. So it said, check to make sure you're awake multiple times a day, and then when you're dreaming, you'll do it too. Okay, all right, okay, all right, sure, yeah, okay. And then it was wake up in the middle of the night. So wake up at like 3 in the morning and wake yourself up and then go right back to sleep. And then you'll probably have a lucid dream. I don't know about that. For me, the lucid dreams were normally after I had been awake for a long time. That I would when I was sleep deprived, and then when I finally slept, the dreams were a lot more vivid and they were just, insane. But there's that. And then of course there's the if you go to sleep while you're sober versus if you're not, might affect your dreams as well. Depending on what you've had and what you've been doing. But I would really love to be able to do this again. It is weird though, because for me all I did was I would focus on an object. I would focus on something, and then I knew I would have a dream about that something. And outside of that, just, concentrating, making sure that I'm as relaxed as possible when I went to sleep. And then I'd have lucid dreams. So we'll see if that happens again. But I wanted to share because this dream I thought was bonkers. So there you go. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as always. And this concludes the weirdest video I've ever done. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.